YouTube streaming, and via Skype. Each one of you is welcome to this live streaming from our studios in Trinidad. Sutras of Vigyan Bhairav Tantra. To live in your nature is the state of thoughtlessness. What is meant by living in your nature? We have different creatures. Man is the only creature that does not live in his nature. What is the nature of a man? Lovingness, his understanding. A dog lives in dogness. He does not imitate anyone. He simply lives in his nature. You would have not heard any dog mooing like a cow or like a cat, but man does. He lives like a parrot. Parrot imitates everyone, every voice that is around him. A tree, the nature of the tree is to blossom, seed to sprout, tree to blossom into branches, leaves, bear fruits, flowers. It does not do anything other than that. You would have not seen any flower, any tree doing anything other than this, which is the nature of the tree. No tree is good or bad. You do not categorize the tree. If you are sitting under a tree or standing under a tree and all of a sudden a fruit falls from the tree on your head, do you call the tree is wicked? The tree has hurt you? Even if the tree falls on you and you die, nobody considers the tree to be a murderer. Or tree is taken to the court because tree has not reached that state of consciousness that can be divided into good and bad. Even if you die when the tree falls on you, it is just a mere coincidence and tree is not responsible for it, because tree does not have intention to kill you. It is beyond, that is not yet developed. But man has two options. Either you can hurt someone consciously or unconsciously. And in this nature, because of this, tree symbolizes the nature. Nature means you are beyond the beyond good and bad. The very concept of good and bad. The tree does not recognize this is good, this is bad. If I fall on someone, it is good. But naturally the fruit is ripe from the tree. If you are standing, it will fall on you. If someone else is standing under that, it will fall on that. It does not make any description when the fruit is ripe, where it will fall. It can fall on the ground, it can fall in the water, it can fall in the mud. And when it is ready, someone can pick it up either. There is no conflict, there is no choice, there is no wish of the tree of its own. Whatever is happening, unconsciously it is accepted to the tree. You can live this moment consciously, that whatsoever is happening is acceptable to you. You are in total harmony, is a total acceptance. Something, you are not controlling anything, you are simply flowing. Life is a flow, is a river that constantly flowing to merge with its totality, with the ocean. That is the destiny of the river, that it is constantly moving in that direction. There is no other way for the tree to be. There is no other way for the river to be. Can you say that river will start moving towards its origin, where it came from, where it originated in the mountains? It flows towards the ocean. There is a deep urge to merge with the ocean, and it never fades at any moment in the journey of the river. But sometimes one moment there is a deep desire to attain to awakening, there is a deep desire to live in harmony. Next moment, when something happens, it vanishes. One moment you have a trust, next moment something does not happen your way, your trust is lost. This is how the journey is. Life is very unique. It has 3 dimensions of it. The first dimension is life, the birth. With birth, you enter into life. You take the first few breaths, and with the breath that you take, life begins. A child does nothing else. He does not greet anyone. He does not say good morning, good evening to anyone. He does not say hi Pop, hi mom, doesn't say anything. Simply takes the breath. With the breath he enters into life, the journey of life, the river of life. And when the old man, he breathes out. The child is breathing in. To breathe in is life, to breathe out is the opposite of life, as we call it, death. So the river flows, these are the 2 shores. Breathing in, incoming breath, and outgoing breath are 2 shores within which the river of life flows. This is how the second comes, love. Love is an unseen but realized truth, not a relationship. It is a way to relate to everything, sentient, insentient, the plants, the stars, the rivers, the mountains. It is a way to how to relate to the river. Hermann Hesse wrote a novel, Siddhartha. In that there is a river that flows outskirts of the village where Siddhartha was living. Whenever he is his mind is unsettled, there is disturbance, he comes to the river, and he used a beautiful word, rivering. The process of the flowing of the river is rivering. In the same way, we can coin a word, life. We have to put it here, try to figure out how we can coin that word. In the same way, whenever you have a disturbance within, you go to the ocean, you go to the seashore, and you stand up there, walk around along the seashore or whatsoever is available to you in tranquility, so the flow that has stopped in you, the chaos or the disturbance comes in life when the life begins, stops the flow. It becomes like a pond. The water does not move. River flows. When things become stationary, unmoving, the disturbance, the chaos comes in life. So you go there and you feel refreshed. There is breeze blowing, surging through you. And it is under this tree alone Buddha attained awakening. He became enlightened. Whenever you move away from this situation, you have never thought that when you sit under the tree, you feel very light, you feel invigorated. You go to the mountain, you go to the seashore, and you think a different kind of energy flowing into you. You think this is happening because of the mountain, because of the tree, because of the river shore or seashore. You move away from that situation. What is a tree is symbolic of nature. Nature means all that is in harmony with all that is existence. Tree is in harmony with the existence. When breeze blows, and the breeze surges through the tree leaves, it swings. It flows with the wind that blows. If there is a storm, it flows with it. It does not bother to save its life. Nature assumes the form of a tree, assumes the form of a river, assumes the form of a mountain, and this nature to be in harmony is the very way of tree, very way of the river, very way of the mountain. One thing is nature. Your nature is humanness. The river's nature is rivering. Ocean's nature is oceaning. It continues that way. Then there are rituals and ways of life, the impressions. And between these two, you need to take a rest. And right there between the two, your nature and your impressions or the way you want to live, your rituals or sacraments, there is a very delicate point that is your center. And all these sacraments, these rituals, these that you involve into, they are the circumference around the center. When Buddha was sitting under the tree, what had happened? Sanskar means the way the life should be. You get up in the morning, you go to this work, a mechanical way of life. This is the way that you have to live. You have to get married, you have to do this, you have to do that. This is a typical code of conduct. This is conditioning. you have to live in the society this way, or the moment you move away from that, you are not living your life as directed, guided by the others, instead guided by your own awareness, your consciousness, your innerness. So two things, that is your center between your nature and all that conditioning that you have woven around you. That is the conditionings, the way of life is the circumference. You are at the center. So when Buddha is sitting under the tree, he moved away from the society, its ways and means, the set norms, and he came to his center. And that is why the enlightenment happened to him. That is why the peace and the serenity, the refreshing happened to you when you walked along the seashore, when you went on the mountain. You are not living the normal life as it should be, as it is expected of you. So, tree, the river, the mountain, all symbolize the nature, the existence. Anything that is in harmony with all that is in synergistic harmony is nature. You are nature, but you have soaked away from that. The awakening, the enlightenment that happened to Buddha did not happen because of the tree, but it happened under the tree. The tree witnessed that magnanimity that has happened, that has dawned on Buddha. But all that happens when you are walking on the seashore. You think it is because of this seashore you refresh. No, that refreshing, that refreshness, that freshness, that invigoration happens within you. The moment you can understand this, all that change is happening is because of your innerness, because you have moved away from the set norms. Then the path of life will become easy. First of all, you have to remove the normal way of life, the conditionings, the rituals, the sacraments, that every Sunday morning you have to go to the church for the Sunday morning prayer, or a Hindu prayer, or Friday you have to go for Jummah Namaz, and you have to read your scriptures mechanically in a particular way. Whatever the society has written on you, have conditioned in you, to remove that. To remove that is that you are coming under the influence, you are living in your nature. To live in your nature is to attain to your innocence. On the seashore, you are walking bare feet, legs exposed. You are not bothered about the way you are dressed. And there is innocence, childlike innocence. All logic, all mathematics, all cleverness that society has given has vanished. Innocence has come up, and that innocence is purity. You are beyond both good and bad that very moment. That is what awakening, that is what wisdom is. It is an inner happening, happens within you. It happens because of you. The seashore, the tree, the mountain can become a catalyst. The change that happens in you is because of you, not because of anyone else. Yes, the mountain, the river, the seashore, the tree creates an environment. It becomes a catalyst. So too a master becomes a catalyst in the process of your transformation. And this is transformation. All that happens there, when the journey, the life, the flow stops, it happens because of you. When it begins to flow is because of you. Simply think that I have given, I am the catalyst. It happened after the Second World War. England had won the war. That time Winston Churchill was the Prime Minister and his deputy was Harold Wilson. And in a moment of celebration, Harold Wilson said to felicitate Winston, he said, "It is because of you, sir, the England won the war." At this, Winston said, "Harold, you are mistaken. The Lion's force was possessed by the countrymen. The Lion's force was possessed by the countrymen. I simply had the luck to give the roar. I was the catalyst. I simply had the luck to give the roar." About the prosperity, the American President John F. Kennedy said, that about the roots, when you have an infrastructure that brings prosperity to the nation. So you have to remember that no one else but you is responsible for all that is happening in and around you. This is a great understanding. The moment you understand this, the process of transformation begins. Everything else becomes a catalyst. Master becomes a catalyst. You have gone on a walk. You are all alone. There is no one on the way. Then all of you are alone. Then all of a sudden somebody appears from nowhere. Everything changes. Your walk changes. Your look changes. There comes a kind of a burden on you because the other has entered you. Until now you were alone. You were like a tree, a bird, a sky, the stars. There was no one to affect you was there. You were walking at your own pace, in your own ecstasy. You may be laughing, you may be smiling, you may be singing a song, you were alone. And in that state of aloneness, you become innocent like a child. When you are walking on the seashore, wrist of your closed and bare feet, and you do not bother about anything at that moment. You are humming a song, and in that is a state of innocence. You are talking to yourself. You may be making faces, and all of a sudden someone else appears. All that vanishes. The innocence of the child has vanished. You have returned to your own logic, to your own mathematics. What had happened? The conditionings has entered into you. The society has entered into you. And you will start behaving as if you are part of the society. Otherwise, you will appear to be distorted. Now you will walk in a calculated step with mannerism. Everything has returned. You are sitting in your room all alone, in your comfort, the way you want to sit down. You are sitting out of innocence. Maybe you're sitting naked, nobody to bother about. You are enjoying every moment. But the moment there is a knock, something changes in you. First thing you do, you start looking for clothes. So that means the clothes does not mean clothes, means the society, the conditioning, the way you're supposed to be in the company of the others. When you are as spontaneous as you are in front of whatsoever it is, you are living in your nature. A child never bothers about, because this is child's innocence is unconscious, and a Buddha, an awakened one's innocence is conscious. Consciously he is innocent. That's why Jesus said, when he was asked who can enter the kingdom of your Father, he said, one who is childlike. He did not say childish. When you childlike means innocent, you are not bothered about this or that and so. I have heard a child was growing up in a family, and it happened one of the member of the family was having a baby. So she visited the doctor. So the child was very anxious to know what it is. So, but he could not accompany the family member. So when they returned from the doctor's place, he asked what the doctor said. If everything is okay, auntie is okay. He said, yes, auntie is okay. So he said, but you are going to have, so he asked, am I going to have a brother or sister? So he said, you are not going to have one brother or one sister, but you are going to have a twin brothers. Twin. This is a child. Imagine what the child would have said. Oh, so I am going to have a twin. That means my uncle had a double barrel. Because he know the word barrel of the gun. When gun has a one barrel and you shoot a bullet, one bullet comes out. So when uncle used his barrel, which is a double barrel gun, so two bullets were shot. That's why I am having two brothers. So he said simply, out of innocence, and as an adult, the people were embarrassed. They did not know what to say. The two ladies looked at one another and became shut down. The child said, does it mean our uncle had the double barrel gun? He said it out of innocence. An awakened one can say the same thing out of innocence. This is childlikeness. To be childlike is to live in your nature. To live in your nature is harmony. To live in your nature is blessing. Only this much for this morning. Until we meet again, take care and do have a pleasant day.